Welcome to Life Her Podcast, the podcast that guides you from the 9-to-5 grind to the freedom of your own path. Discover how to conquer life's challenges while pursuing your passions with unwavering faith. Because being an entrepreneur is not easy. So let's get to it.
Hey everyone, I'm Yvette Lloyd, host of Life Her Podcast. We have an incredible guest, Karyn Jeneen, and she is a powerhouse speaker, author, CFO, and AI strategist. And Lord knows we need to know so much about AI because it is our future. She's on a mission to help business owners make a smarter financial decisions, leverage AI for growth, and build businesses that truly pay them. Not just the look on the paper, as an author of Know Your Worth and Business Weight Loss, Karyn delivers straight to the point strategies to drive actual real results. And we need some real results around here. If you are ready to gain financial clarity and unlock your power of AI in your businesses, this episode is for you. Hey Karyn, how are you?
Hey Yvette, I am so good and so honored to be here. When you was reading, I was like, yes, sitting up in my seat, like, yes, we need that.
You know what's so crazy, Karyn? Every time I read an intro with people, they always be like, is that me?
Right.
Yes, it's you.
The way you put that Life Her Spice on there was like, go ahead, girl. Yes. Can you travel with me and just introduce me on stage? Like, no matter where I am. Hold on a second. Let me dial in. Let me dial in, Yvette, so I can get my bio read.
Well, I got you, girl. So, Karyn, you help manage millions. What's the biggest financial mistake you see entrepreneurs make, and how can they avoid it?
The biggest, I'm gonna say I've worked with organizations and I work with entrepreneurs, and it doesn't matter whether they have a $40 million budget or whether they have a $40,000 budget or revenue year. I find that this underlying problem is the same. And I'm a person that really looks to get to the root. The underlying problem across the spectrum is not understanding your numbers. And it doesn't matter whether you're an entrepreneur running your business solo or whether you're the CEO managing hundreds of people and a $40 million, $100 million. I've seen it across the board. When I come in, I see that they don't know the numbers. And if you don't know the numbers, what you don't track, you can't control.
That is like so true. So tell me about the numbers and the financial things that you have going on. How do you convert that, and how did you end up in the journey of AI and technology?
Oh my gosh, such a wonderful journey and a great question. So my background is in accounting. I've been in accounting for, industry says all I have to say is more than 10 years. So that's what I'll say. I've been in accounting for more than 10 years, and I've worked my way through the ranks of up to a CFO, right? What I see or what I do with numbers is, again, I am a core person. I'm going to come in, I'm going to get right in the middle of your business. Now it becomes, I'm a partner. I'm not a vendor, or I'm not just a professional. I'm a partner. Now it's ours. I'm in the middle of your business. I do a 360 view to see where are the financial gaps. I stand on 3 to 4 principles no matter who I'm working with: efficiency, effectiveness, productivity, and transparency. I need you to be transparent with me about what's really happening, what's really going on, and how did we get here. If you have employees, I need you to be transparent with your employees about the numbers and the impact that they bring to either generating the numbers or contributing to the bottom line, right? I need you to understand that operating in silos, like we can't operate in silos and be effective or efficient. A lot of the times, even one owner entrepreneurs, we operate in silos. We may do sales and marketing today. We're doing this tomorrow. We're doing all of the hats. And even though you're the same person, nobody knows what's going on. Nobody's talking to the other person. It's the same. I find the same thing in organizations. So my process starts with, let me learn about the company. I don't come in and I'm not looking to change everything, because change is hard, right? That's why they have a whole industry or a whole profession towards change management, because change is hard. So I'm not looking to come in to just interrupt and change everything that you're doing. It's not my approach, and it's not my philosophy of what works well. What works well is me understanding how we got here, right? Understanding how you work, because that's critical to me getting you to move. Because I'm not doing the work by myself. I'm doing the investigating. I'm doing the digging. I'm doing the research. And either you and your team have to do the work, or I have to guide you through the work. And I'm not a babysitter, so I'm not going to babysit you through the work. So the best way that I found is it becomes a team effort. I need to know how you work so that I can know how to get you to work, right? So the changes that I recommend that we implement are based off of one, and this is so critical and probably unique to me, is I want to know you, the individual. What are your individual goals? And so many times I found people, this one question that I ask, and they kind of look at me and like a deer in the headlights after they answer, with all of the things that they want to do business wise. I say, what do you want? And they'll say, I want more revenue, I want more clients, I want, more this. And I'm like, no, what do you want? And there's a awkward silence. I don't really know what I want. Well, let's figure that out, right? Because I'm concerned about you, the person who brings the person to the leadership role, who brings the person to the entrepreneurship role, who brings the person to serving other clients. Mm-hmm. I need your goals and what you want to do to be the forefront, because that's how I started in entrepreneurship. I chose my family, which at the time was my daughter, over a career. And I jumped straight into entrepreneurship because I never wanted to miss a first moment, right? So my why, what I wanted at that time, was to be the best mother that I could be that did not miss a first moment. So I want to know what you want. And then we can build the business around that. Oftentimes, we build a business and we shape our life around the business that we've built. So I want to know, one, what do you want, so that we can, as we're talking about making changes in the business, as we're talking about knowing your numbers, as we're talking about being transparent and moving things forward, we can talk about how to make sure that that the business is built around what you want to do in the life that you're in. And it may change, because as seasons change, as life changes, things happen, you may need to shift. And that brings me to what I have come to appreciate so much: AI. Artificial intelligence, when it came out, not when it came out, because it's been out since the 50s. When our access to these large language models came out, like ChatGPT and Perplexity and Claude and Gemini, some of the first ones that were on the scene, it gave us the opportunity to be able to run big while being small. You can hire And I treat the artificial intelligence, they are employees or interns or assistants, and I'm expecting to have an outcome just like I would expect from an intern, just like I would expect if I hired someone to help me with speaking, if I hired someone to help me with marketing. I'm expecting an outcome. And so when I employ or deploy these agents out into the marketplace, because now we're at the stage of agents, right? We were doing, a lot of prompting, which that's still big, but we're at the point of and deploying agents, and eventually they're getting to things that are just they're not far-fetched, they're just so far into the future that I want people to grasp the power of artificial intelligence. And so at the core of what, again, efficiency, effectiveness, productivity, and transparent, those are my pillars. AI just allows us to do 3 of those things very well. Be more effective, be more efficient, be more productive. So it wasn't about jumping on a trend or jumping on something that looks good. It's about, oh, this can help entrepreneurs and businesses be more effective, efficient, and productive. Let me learn this so I can now help them to leverage this, not just use it, because there's a difference between using it and leveraging it. So I can help them to leverage it in their business. So again, so they could run small while being big, right? They can have big things or things that organizations larger usually have access to, which is more people, more financial resources, and just more time to be able to research and development. Artificial intelligence and some of these tools have cut that time down almost to like hours. So
Okay.
that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
So AI can sometimes feel intimidating or overwhelming to people. How do you make it more approachable and practical for everyone, that for everyday users?
So one of my ninja skills is simplifying complicated things, which is another reason why I have a tendency to learn things that I believe that maybe most people could overcomplicate or it could be intimidating. So I can bring it to them in layman's terms. So I actually teach a basic training, an AI basic training class, and I call it Open to AI. My approach, again, it's the person first. I need to know what you want, some areas. Let's just start with where you want to be more productive. If you could give up one thing, what would that be? Let's remove AI, right? Let's just remove that. And the intimidation. And then I say, okay, let's see what tool, and I try to stay with tools that are more user-friendly, low barrier to entry, and easy to understand, and it can grow with. Go with what's comfortable. Don't try to learn everything, because artificial intelligence, the analogy that I give, it's like saying, I want a car. I want to learn artificial intelligence. Well, what do you want? What do you want it to do? Do you want to be able to create more videos without actually getting behind the camera? Do you want it to be able to automate and send out, create emails because you're not necessarily the best at writing? Do you want it to take meeting notes for you because when you're in meetings, you rather pay attention than having to spend time taking copious notes? So it depends on your level of comfort and what it is that you want to work towards getting better at. Because remember, my pillars: effectiveness, efficiency, productivity. what are the cogs in the wheel? What are the clogs in the wheel? Where are the bottlenecks in your business that's causing you not to be able to grow your revenue, that's causing you not to be able to increase your profit margins, that's causing you to spend too much money in an area of expense? Where are those? Because remember, I'm the CFO. So I'm always looking at bottom line, top line, diversifying revenue. Numbers are always in my purview, right? I'm always looking at the numbers and considering the numbers because I don't want you to just do anything. And the rapid pace that AI is growing can feel overwhelming. But when you narrow down the thing that you want to work on and that you would love to have someone to come in and help you with, now we could talk about what tool would work best to get you there. The truth
Wow.
is that every day we use some part of AI, but it becomes so natural because it doesn't feel like it. And that's the point where I want to get people to in terms of the level of comfort. Don't think of it as this intimidating, this thing that is changing so rapidly that I can't catch up.
Right.
Figure out what you want to do, grab hold to that, and run with that and become the best at making that better.
Yes, it takes a lot. So you talk a lot about AI and how it can help people work smarter, not harder. Can
Mhm.
you share some of your favorite AI tools that can help entrepreneurs and busy professionals save time?
The power of one. If the only AI tool you use is ChatGPT, it's going to be enough. It's going to be enough to get you to grow. ChatGPT can grow with you into the millions, right? Then when you start talking about, beyond multi-millions, you can build your own ChatGPT in-house, or you could talk about some other things. But if the only tool, and I promise you, if the only tool you use is ChatGPT, it will be enough. That's
Right.
my tool. Right now, I've got 3 tabs open with ChatGPT.
Yeah.
3. um, Other tools that I use Perplexity, and I look at, I treat the large language models, they're like a family, right?
Right.
So ChatGPT is kind of that. When it came out, it's the one that will experiment. It's the explorer. It's the natural. You can have a conversation. It's the relatable one. So it's kind of like that, that cool sister or brother, cousin. And then you've got Perplexity, who's like, that's the professor. If you want to have something like that, research that when you go to this person, that they're going to give you that scholarly answer with the receipts, so to speak, to match. That's Perplexity. Claude is like that big brother that makes you stay within the lines. No, you can't go out into the street. No, you can't go down to the street because mom and dad said that that's not okay. Claude is a large language model that kind of stays within the box. Now, again, these things change often, and as they are not necessarily competing with one another, but trying to keep up with one another, some of these things may change over time, but I know who to go to, for what. When I'm just being my straight creative self, I'm in Chat GPT because most of the things that I want to do, I can do in Chat GPT. I've started to play over in with video with Hey Jen, and I'm actually creating a learning management system, or all of my training I'm going to do in Hey Jen, which is more video and voice. So it's where you can clone yourself and you can clone your voice and you can get things done. So you can use it for reels. You could use it for short training videos, depending on what plan that you're on. You can use it to do user generated content. Like, you can do a lot more than just in ChatGPT. So ChatGPT kind of gets, like, you can use ChatGPT to do your scripts. You can use HeyGen to, to do the video and to actually put those scripts into play. So I use mainly all of the large language models: ChatGPT, Perplexity, Claude. I'm less likely to use Gemini because that one was kind of like, I call it the colorful, right? They gave you too many different options, too many different things, and I was just like, okay, I don't need all of that. Just give me a straight answer, and I can tell you yes, no, that works. You give me too many options. You got 3 options. Now I got 3 things to read. I'm not sure that that's the most productive. So I don't use Gemini as much. And then, like I said, HeyGen has become one of my favorites these days because it's the voice and video clone. So just like even right now, I can take a 2-minute clip of me talking. I can upload it to train it so that this background, when it comes in another training, it's going to use this background, this outfit, and all of that, and I can feed it a script, and then it can duplicate what I'm saying. So those are some tools. I don't like to overwhelm people. So I could give you many more, but I give you what I use. And again, it's not to overwhelm you, it's to inform you of the possibilities. But when you figure out what it is that you want to do, where you want to be more effective, where you want to be more efficient, where could you be more productive in order to drive results to the top line or bottom line, then you could begin to explore tools. But there's literally thousands of tools out there that are available for use.
So, I want to say something to you.
Yes.
Girl, the way you are in love with this AI is beyond me. It's a lot of people that I have had on the podcast show, and what I love about each and every guest that I've had is the passion that you guys have in what you're doing. And it's nothing like finding that space on where you feel welcomed and where you feel like, okay, finally in my life, I have something that I really love so much that I am so into and involved in. And the way you talk about it, I just want to applaud you. And I want to tell you that I am so proud of you to even have the knowledge for it, because one thing about AI and how a lot of this is changing, I notice how some people love it the way you do, and some people are trying to learn it. And then you got the people that are afraid of it, and they are driving themselves crazy to a point where they feel like the world is coming to an end just because of the direction we're going into. But yet, I'm 41, so I remember when I was young and I'm watching the Jetsons.
Yes.
And the Jetsons, everything that was going on in that cartoon is like where our lives are going currently right now. And for people to have the mindset and feel like we will never go in that direction is beyond me, because now we're going in that direction and they are afraid of the change and the shift. Because even before I graduated high school back in 2001, everybody had a scare tactic then in 2000, like, oh, the millennium is coming, the world is going to end. And that's when the internet actually started coming along, and us having these cell phones, because we have regular phones and everything. So I just find it extremely dope how you are ahead of time, and not too many people have that mindset or even have the tools and the knowledge for that. And we need more people like you to educate a lot of people to make
Yes.
them feel a lot more comfortable in this space, in this new world that we
Mhm.
are embarking in. So I really thank you for that.
Yes, thank you, thank you, thank you. And that's right on time because want, I can talk about this every day, and every person that I come in contact with, by the time we finish our conversation, you will have the question. So, how are you leveraging AI? Right? Because I want to know, because I want to make sure that before guardrails start to be placed around it and the barriers start to get more stringent and they start to get, you know, bigger, I want to make sure that you're at least comfortable with knowing its possibilities,
Mm,
comfortable with knowing how it could help you. And it's not just in business, right? I was at a networking meeting the other day, and a young lady, I was speaking about AI, and I asked the crowd, I said, how many of you don't even have an account with any type of AI tool? And there was one young lady that, that raised her hand, and she was like, my husband uses it, but I don't. And she said, because she's one of, the skeptics, like, I'm just not sure about it. And here's the thing, I tell people, whatever part you're not comfortable with, you don't have to use that part. If you're not comfortable with using the photos, don't use that. If you're not comfortable with writing because you love your creative writing process, don't use it for writing. There's so many other use cases and so many other things that you can do with it besides the things that make you uncomfortable. But don't let your level of comfort keep
yeah.
you away from being able to access something that can literally change your life. So my advice to her was like, you could use it to plan a meal. You don't feel like going to the grocery store, you have limited groceries in your house. Hey, I have some eggs, I got some ground beef, and I have some seasonings and, maybe something else. What can I make for my family of four? What can I make for dinner for my family of four? Who
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't want that? Like,
Man,
who
listen.
couldn't use that? Like, if you're a busy mom who's got three kids and they're in activities, and maybe you manage your husband's schedule. Hey, here are all of the schedules that I have to manage. Can you tell me if I got time to, maybe go get my hair done or whatever? I read somewhere somebody had a use case where it said ChatGPT helped them to understand that what they were expecting was unrealistic. With your schedule, you're not going to be able to get your goals done. With your schedule, you're not going to be able to take care of yourself in the way that you want. So it's no wonder why you find yourself hitting a brick wall. So I tell
Mhm.
people, whatever you're not comfortable with, don't use it for that. Find something
Mhm.
else. But trust me, there is a something else. There is a possibility of how artificial intelligence can help you. We use it, again, I'm going to say we use it every day. We use it with our phones. We use it with our, with groceries and these Uber Eats and all of those different things. Like, we literally, it's in our world every single day.
Yeah.
Whether you decide to utilize it for your own personal use or not, you using it anyway.
Wow. So, what are some practical AI applications that everyday people, whether parents, entrepreneurs, or students, can start using today?
Ask it questions. It's artificial intelligence. So and intelligence comes from where? Our creator
Later.
gave one species intelligence, and that was humans. So it's an artificial human intelligence. Ask it questions. If it's something that you've always wanted to, find out or know, if you're curious, just ask it questions and don't treat it like it's a machine. Yes, we do know it's a machine and it is a computer, But if you can get to the level of just having a conversation, just have a conversation about maybe something random, maybe about something specific, but just have a conversation. And most of us, whether you're an introvert or whether you're an extrovert, know how to have a conversation. And the thing is that your conversation, it doesn't have to be perfect. So if you spell something wrong, it can figure it out. If you got a broken sentence, it can figure it out. If you got a run-on sentence, it can figure it out. Just have a conversation. And the technology, if you use ChatGPT and you have it on your phone and on your desktop, there are ways that you can just talk to it. If you don't want to text it or type it out, talk to it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the simplest basic use. Have a conversation.
That is so true. So how do you see AI evolving over the next few years, and how can people prepare to adapt?
So I'm going to address the first one first. How do
Okay.
people adapt? You start to find ways where it can help you. Not just use it, but it could where it's actually making a difference. If you've ever wanted to, like, there's some business owner that want to have a podcast, but I don't really like getting behind the mic, or I really don't have the computer equipment. Or there are tools that can help you to seamlessly start a podcast. If you are a student that struggles with homework, you can ask ChatGPT, and I'm saying ChatGPT, you may want to ask the professor, Perplexity, or ask questions about your homework. You can create a tutor. So I would say, how do you, in a sense, get ahead of it, is that you've got to start using it. You have to start using it. You can't just continue to hear about it and know about it and be uncomfortable, because your level of discomfort is not going to change the fact that it's here and it's rapidly. And when I say it's rapidly changing, like every day, multiple times a day, there are new platforms coming out. There are changes being made. At least 3 of the platforms that I use, like, they're actively making changes now. And the beauty of the thing now is, oftentimes I can speak directly to the creators of these apps because they're so new, or these platforms because they're so new. I can talk right to the developers because they're so new. As this thing starts to grow and things start to change, that level of access is going to become distant. I can almost get something that's custom built, right? Because I'm saying, hey, well, what about this? And what about this use case? And I'm trying to get it to do, this over here. And they may go back to their developers and say, hey, let's make our platform or our tool be able to do this. So I would say, find your point of entry and get in. And many people ask me, how did you get started? And if we're in person, I'll say, are you looking? They say, yeah. And I just jumped. I just jumped in. And I can pinpoint the day, because it was the day that ChatGPT started, November 30th, 2022. It's my daughter's birthday. I jumped in and I have not looked back.
Wow.
I've been finding my lane, and now that I know what lane I want to dominate, then I can zero in on only learning about those. It's similar to going to college. Like, you can go to college and they have a full catalog of things that you can take, classes you can take, majors you can have. You choose your major, and there's a set of classes that align with that major. Treat AI in that same manner. There's so many tools. Pick your lane, follow that tool, and become the subject matter expert in that tool and for that use case. All I do is share my use cases, but then I expand, because I created a GPT to help people. Well, actually, I use it to help me to be able to pitch people, but I use it, I've shared it with other people so that they could use it to just get some ideas of agents that they can create, right? So use it to dream, like use it to blow your mind. If you've always wanted this house that had, I don't know, 5 bedrooms, 4 baths, and you want to create that, find a tool that can help you create that so that you can see it every day. Where is AI heading? I don't think my mind really can conceive where it's heading. What I know is that right now we're at artificial intelligence. And that's what we're talking about right now. AGI and ASI, artificial general intelligence, I think that's what the G stands for, is already happening, right? Where we went from having to type, now we can talk, now video is in place where I really just need to get in front of video and let it do the rest. And artificial super intelligence is where it will do thinking for you.
Yeah. So as a woman in tech, what challenges have you faced in your journey and how have you overcome them?
The biggest challenge that I have faced and what I've loved is that I've wanted to be a woman in tech for years. I've had thoughts and talks with developers about creating a software for the accounting field, but it was cost prohibitive because developers cost a lot of time and financial resources. So what I love about being a woman in tech and owning that is that the barrier to entry, like a non-tech person can also be a woman or man in tech, right? Because the barrier is so, it's almost non-existent.
Yeah.
The biggest challenge that I've had is that my mind, for some of the tools that I use, because I'm a CFO, I like to try to keep tech stack costs low. For the tools that I use, not doing the thing that I want it to do. Other than that, the challenges are internal. I don't have enough time to try all the things like as rapidly as, like right now, there's a new feature in ChatGPT that I know that I haven't maximized to its full potential. And it's the task reminder. Like you can set it to remind you to do something or for it to do something on a regular basis. So every day at 6 a.m., I have it to send me new insights about AI updates. I don't have time to read all of the magazines and do all of the research about what's coming out new. So I could utilize that to either create now a post. I could use it to create a newsletter. I could use it when I start my podcast, I can use it to create a podcast episode. And all I did was tell it to send me all of the updated news that relates to AI and business.
Wow.
So where it's going can be a bit intimidating. What I can say is this, and I wanted to mention this when you mentioned the Jetsons. Movies are real fiction.
Yes.
It's real fiction.
Yes.
If someone conceived it to put it in the movie, it's being done or developed somewhere.
You ain't lying about that.
So we had Jetsons, and then we also had, I think behind that was Back to the Future.
Yep.
And I think the time frame between, what was the other one? What'd you say?
We had that, Men in Black, Minority Report.
Okay. So think about it. The time frame from the Jetsons to Back to the Future movie. Let's just say that was a 30-year gap. The 30-year gap from Back to the Future to Men in Black, let's just say maybe that was 20 years. From Men in Black to another sci-fi movie that we're actually seeing things happen, let's say 10 years. So you see the gap is getting shorter and shorter between when these things are being introduced or talked about versus when we actually see them happening. The time is getting so much shorter. We've got virtual reality games. We have glasses that you can, see what's happening in real time. So the technology is changing very rapidly. And we didn't even this is just the forward facing or the front facing part of AI. We didn't even talk about the behind the scenes of AI. That's a whole other land to be able to play in, a whole other sandbox to be able to play in. So if you're into coding, if you into things like that, then the back end may work for you, but there is somewhere where you can get in, and it's not riding the wave, it's stepping into the future.
It is, because I've seen like so many things, like when it comes to AI, like you were saying, a text reminder, creating a book, creating ebooks, creating videos for YouTube, cartoons for YouTube. Like it creates so much stuff. In a sense, I see why people are afraid and scared. However, we've been watching and looking at many things already for a very long time that has been created by AI, and we didn't even have a clue it was AI. Because just even imagine, like an example, if we're watching any of the award shows like the Grammys or something like that, who's to say that's really real?
Right. Mm-hmm.
It could be AI, and we just didn't know back then. It was just a test of them showing these people, thinking they are really there and thinking it's really them as a person. Because it's so many videos that are out that we could create videos ourselves that look just like us and everything. And you don't know unless somebody be like, hey, that wasn't me for real. That was AI.
I think two things that you said that are really critical and really good. Creative, like we can just about create anything.
Yes.
And we were created by a creator. So creativity is at the base of life. It's at the base of life. So I don't know that it's the creativity that kind of hangs us up. And then what I thought about in that moment is like, okay, if you're not going to create it, I can duplicate creativity. I can get somebody to duplicate faster. I think that what scares people is the access.
Yes.
Because we're awestruck, and we get really excited when we don't have access to it. As long as Disney is producing these movies and doing all of these things that look like they're out of reach, I'm excited about it. But when it is no barrier and it's the access to the masses, I think that just from a damage standpoint or a destruction standpoint, people naturally start to look, how is it going to go bad, right? Because it's not behind, like we look at it like there's no barriers, there's no structure around it, and I get that. And I say, what I say to people about that is, even with structure, it only keeps honest people honest.
Yes.
A lock on your door, it keeps the honest people honest. alarm on your car or your house, it keeps honest people honest. Even like the doors to bathrooms, it keeps honest people honest, because those who want to defy the rules or the guidelines, they're going to do it anyway, regardless of what controls or barriers are in place. So unfortunately, you're going to have people that are going to utilize the technology in a way that is destructive, in a way that is horrible, in a way that is not with the highest level of integrity. But don't let that stop you from learning how to utilize it and learning how it can benefit you. And just know that controls are going to, controls are actually, they're being developed as we speak. But the level of control, still the level of access is so wide that I think that's what scares people, is because I never thought that I could make a Disney level movie. Now you
Man.
can make a Disney level movie and not have gone to film school or cinematic school or anything. But we were excited when cinematic was just on our phone, right? When I have that cinematic button on my phone and I get in the right lighting, baby, listen, what? I want to turn that on all day. But now that the possibility of actually creating a movie with real cinematic components, yeah, that's scary.
It is. It is. So, what legacy do you hope to leave in the world of AI and empowerment?
So I have a saying, and I say, and this is interesting, full circle moment podcast that I had back in 2022. I had the legacy motto, and I say, live your legacy before you leave it. The truth is that every single day, each one of us, we're living a legacy,
Yeah.
whether it's the legacy that we want to leave or not. We are creating a system. We're going out and we're talking to people and we're leaving something implanted through conversation, implanted through our work, implanted through our not, no work. But every day we are living the legacy that we will leave. What
Mm.
I want to empower people, and what I strive to do every day, is to just let people know that whatever you dream, whatever you believe is possible.
Mm.
Whatever you believe is possible.
Yeah.
So with AI and with the work that I do, again, my role and my gift when I get to work with people is, what do you want to be possible? And let's see if we can make it happen. I'm never going to tell a person. I was speaking with a young lady the other day, and she had this big dream. She said, I would love to just be able to do this. And I said, do it. How
Yeah.
do we make it happen, and how can I help you? And
Mm.
she just kind of, looked, and I said, I'm never gonna tell a person what can't be done, because
Yeah.
I don't know the vision that you have. I don't know the network that you have. I don't know right now. I don't know where this artificial intelligence is taking us. But what I do know is that whatever you believe to be possible, it is possible.
Mm-hmm.
It is possible. And that is, I also, I asked my daughter this morning, right? Or I asked my daughter and my guy this morning, I said, what is it about me that nobody that you know does it to the level that I do it? My daughter said, talk, ask questions, and figuring things out. And when I tell you that's spot on, I talk to people to find out what their life dreams are, to find out who they are and what they really want, right? Not what they're doing or what they think they should be doing, but what do they want? I ask questions to go beyond surface level just thinking. I want to get to the core. I used to call it beyond the C, beyond the SEE, right? beyond what you see and beyond what you say, I'm listening for what it is that you're not saying so that I can go deeper and not wider. So I do. I ask really good questions. Some people call it interrogating. And then figuring things out. I want to figure things out so that I can share those resources with people so that they can live the life that they want to live. So it doesn't have to be so hard. So they could do those things that they thought were impossible, right? So it's just ways in which I'm living my legacy. And the legacy, again, that I want to leave is that if you can believe it, you really can achieve it.
That is so true. So I got some fun questions for you.
Yay.
And these are quick and fun responses.
Okay.
So AI or intuition?
Intuition.
Save or splurge?
Say that one more time.
Save or splurge?
Splurge.
Morning person or night owl?
That's okay. Night owl.
So what's one app you can't live without?
One act?
One app.
App. What's one app I can't live without? Ooh. My first answer was going to be ChatGPT, and then I was like, "No, baby, Apple Pay."
Apple Pay. What's the worst business advice you ever received?
Follow me.
If you could have an AI assistant with only one function, what would it be?
Ooh, I got several with one function now. One AI with one function. Edit these videos.
Oh, what's your favorite motivational quote when it comes to money and success?
What you don't track doesn't get managed.
Okay. So I got one good question. If
Mhm.
you had to explain AI to a 5-year-old, how would you do it?
Be as creative as you want. All of
Mm.
those things, whatever you're thinking, put it in there. Don't overthink it. And I probably wouldn't tell a 5-year-old not to overthink it because I wouldn't have to. I would just say, just play.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Well, thank you. I'm
You're
so happy
welcome.
to
Yes.
talk to you. So, how can our listeners connect with you and learn from you and work with you?
So I am Karyn Jeneen on all platforms. My main platform these days is LinkedIn. That's where I hang out the most. My website is KB Training Group. So that's 2 G's. You got a traininggroup.com. And that's where I will showcase a lot of AI demos or maybe things that I'm working on. And how you work with me is you can either book a consultation and I forgot to mention this. Yesterday, guess what started? I'm
What?
so excited. The AI Business School.
Oh,
So I am packaging and developing my classes. So look for that soon. But what I am doing now, the best way to work with me is if you know that you have something that you want to get off of your plate, I help you to determine what AI agent or assistant you need to hire to get that done. So that's the way that I'm working with people during these days, is helping to hire AI agents and then automate them so that you can do the work that truly only you can do. And again, you can reach out to me on LinkedIn, or there is a contact page on my website and a phone number. Either one of those will work. But just play. I'm going to do like the 5-year-old. Just play.
Yes, you are changing lives and building futures.
Yes.
That is
Yes.
amazing. Well, thank you so much for being on Life Her podcast. I enjoyed this interview. It was so informative and you were like extremely detailed. If nobody reached out to you about AI, they gotta be crazy because you're gonna tell them exactly what it is. And I just love the fact that you are so passionate about it. Just please
Yes.
keep going and keep educating us.
Yes. Thank you so much. It was such an honor to talk to you and share with your audience.
Yes. Well, thank you everyone for tuning in to Life Her podcast. Please subscribe on YouTube and also listen to us on all major audio platforms.
Welcome to Life Her Podcast, the podcast that guides you from the 9 to 5 grind to the freedom of your own path. Discover how to conquer life's challenges while pursuing your passions with unwavering faith. Because being an entrepreneur is not easy. So let's get to it.